Hello friends, this is Durga again from ITversity, a one-stop shop to learn all the technologies. At this time, I will show how to set up a pig on Cloudera distribution. So, learning pattern, it applies to all the technologies, and we have used the same pattern to configure multiple tools on Hadoop cluster which we have set up on AWS. This is applicable to the cluster which you set up on virtual machines also. So first we'll see the architecture, then daemon process, parameter files, log files, validation, as we have done with others. So architecture is very simple architecture. It just requires Hadoop. You don't need to have any additional components installed. You just need to download pig jar files. Daemon process are not there because it's client only tool. Parameter files is pig.properties, and log files will be generated wherever you run the pig script. And we will see the validation. For validation, primarily you have to look into the logs of MapReduce only, because pig does not have any background process that will be running on the cluster. So there will not be any dedicated log files such as Hive Metastore server or Hive server or HDFS components such as data node, name node, etc. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. So before getting into the setup, let us understand what is pig. Pig is a MapReduce based tool to process both structured as well as unstructured data in Hadoop. It is termed as data flow language, and its syntax and semantics resembles functional programming languages. It is written in Java and open source. So if you want to customize for your needs, you can reverse engineer the pig code and you can modify the components of pig. It uses MapReduce framework. So whenever you write a pig script, it will be compiled into MapReduce code using Java, and then a jar file will be generated, and then the MapReduce jobs will be submitted using that jar file. So far we have seen Hadoop core components, HDFS at the bottom, then MapReduce is installed using Yarn. MapReduce and Yarn are installed for processing purpose, and then there will be additional components which will be added. Okay, so pig architecture, it uses HDFS for storage, it uses MapReduce or Yarn for processing. Just jar need to be deployed on all the client or gateway nodes to run pig statements to process data in Hadoop. Pig statements will be compiled into Java-based MapReduce program, as I have explained earlier. Setting up a pig using third-party wizards. Ambari you have to just add on the client, which I have covered in Hortonworks distribution. For Cloudera, you just don't need to do anything. When you set up HDFS or Yarn, pig will be deployed automatically, and pig will be deployed on the nodes which are configured as clients. So if you go to the cluster which is there on Cloudera, we have configured master01 as the client for both HDFS and Yarn. So we can connect to the EC2 instance, and then you can launch pig, and it will launch the pig command line interface, which is called as grunt. And if you see, it is connecting to this HDFS. It goes through the parameter files under etc Hadoop conf by default, and it will try to use that cluster. So you don't need to do any installation, or you don't need to do much configuration also when you actually set up using Cloudera. Only thing is you need to configure a particular node as gateway node for both HDFS and Yarn, and then pig will be accessible on that node without any issues. So I will show you that. If you go to HDFS and go to instances, we have all the masters on 53 and 243 and 244, and then slaves on 45, 46, 47, 48, and then gateway on 242. Okay, So from gateway we can run pig scripts without any issues, provided we also configure gateway for yarn. We will review yarn also here. Go to yarn and then go to instances. You can see 242 is configured as gateway, which means that the parameter files such as core site.xml, hdfs site.xml, yarn site.xml, mapread site.xml is pointing to a valid Hadoop cluster. As long as those are pointing to valid Hadoop cluster for both HDFS as well as yarn, pig will run without any issues on that, provided you set up the environment using Cloudera, because the installation of the jar files will be done at the time of adding the hosts to the cluster itself. Only thing is we need to configure the additional tools, but for pig, once you set up HDFS and yarn, automatically pig will be accessible from gateway. Okay, and then so this is the architecture which we followed. First we set up yum, then monitoring server such as Cloudera Manager, then along with the monitoring database, and then monitoring agents on all the nodes in the cluster. We set up HDFS, then yarn with MapReduce. Tez is not relevant for Cloudera distribution. It is only out of the box with Hortonworks, and we don't use Tez in Cloudera distributions, even though it can be added. No one adds that. And pig automatically comes as long as and when you actually set up HDFS and yarn and configure gateways for both. Pig will be accessible for Cloudera. Okay, so this is the parameter file etc pig conf pig.properties. So here is the properties file. Etc pig conf is the location where you will find the properties files, and you can look into pig.properties. So typically for pig you don't change parameters that often, but if you want to make any changes at the pig level, then this is the parameter file which you need to look into. And unlike HDFS, yarn and Hive or most of the other technologies, pig does not have XML files for the configurations. Instead it uses key value format of properties. So here if you want to override any parameter, you just have to give the parameter name equal to and the value. So this will be the key for this will act, the name of the parameter will act as key, and you can have the values after equal to. Okay, so this is how you can actually override pig properties using pig.properties file at the time while launching the pig jobs. So the log files, we have launched pig from the home directory, and if you run any commands, there will be some logs generated, and those logs will be preserved in the directory where we ran the where we launch the pig command line or grunt. So grunt is just the name of name for the pig command line interface. And then you if you want to run HDFS commands, you can just use fs-ls user root. So you don't need to use Hadoop then fs. You can directly say fs-ls in grunt or pig command line interface, and the commands will work without any issues. Okay, so I will briefly show how to run the pig jobs using or how to develop simple pig Latin scripts and how to execute those things. So first we need to launch the pig grunt or pig command line interface by running pig command, and then we can actually start developing the code. So in this case I will just try to get the count of the records from the file. So there is a directory called word count, and I just want to get the number of records in that. So first let us see what is there in this user root word count directory. For that you can run fs-ls user root word count and hit enter. There are multiple files here. So first we can say we can give a variable name. In this case I am giving it as word count underscore data equal to, there is a load command which can load the files, and then this is called as bag. So the data which is there in the files will be loaded into the bag at runtime when we actually perform some actions such as dump and store. Until then it will just build the flow. Okay, load user root word count. Okay, so if you want you can actually run the describe command, describe word count underscore data, and see what is there. As of now we haven't defined schema for this, so it is saying schema for word count underscore data is unknown, but if there is schema it will tell the schema for that for those files if we define the schema. Okay, so now we have created a bag called word count underscore data, and we need to get the count. Means if you want to get number of rows in the table in all the files under that location, we have to use pig syntax and write pig script, which will look like this: word count underscore group equal to group word count underscore data all. So group and all are keywords, and we are trying to group everything in one as one key value pair. The key will be a constant and the value will be all the records will be grouped in one bag. Okay, now we can say describe. Again it might say there is no schema for it, but let's see. Yeah, it didn't show that it does not have schema, because when we use group it will create a implicit schema, and you can see the new data set in word count underscore group is a tuple. Tuple means a key and value pair. So the key is a field, a implicit field which will be created internally, and the value is the entire data set which is grouped using group word count underscore all. So if you see here, again there is curly brackets and in circular brackets, which means that it's an array. Okay, so all the values in those files are grouped together, giving one group key. Okay, now using this word count underscore group, we can actually use another operator called for each, and we can get actually the count for this group which have all the records. So word count equal to for each word count underscore group. So this is the bag which we want to use to get the count. Okay, generate group comma. So we are actually getting two fields. One is the group itself, so generate group comma, and we want to get the count, so count star. Okay, and here we can give word count underscore data. So this array is nothing but word count underscore data. So here we have to say count underscore star word count underscore data, which is this one. So we are trying to get the count, we are trying to apply the count star on all the lines or on all the records that are part of all these files under this directory, and hence we have to give the bag name on which we want to apply the count star, and this is the bag name which we need to give here. So again, word count equal to for each is the operator. For word count underscore group is we are trying to apply the transformation here to get the count, and we want to see the group the implicit group created, and then we want to get the count on all the records, which is word count underscore data, and semicolon to end, and hit enter. I have to use uppercase. Some of the keywords are case sensitive, such as function names. So now I change it to uppercase. Okay, I have to give comma. Okay, and now you have to use dump or store. Dump is to run the program and display the output of the entire script which is written so far here, or if you want to store back it into HDFS, you have to use store command. So dump word count. So once I issue this command, what will happen is it will take these four lines of code which is used to generate this word count, and then it will write Java based MapReduce code using MapReduce APIs, and then it will compile into a jar file, and that jar file will be submitted as MapReduce job in the cluster. Now you can see that it is actually running the job. First it is creating the jar file for the code which we have initiated, and to actually get the logs while it is running, we have to go to MapReduce logs, which are which can be accessed using this URL. So for that I have to enable SSH tunneling because I am using AWS. Sorry, not this one. Yeah, this is the one. And now I have to enable Foxy proxy. So tools, and then paste this URL once the Foxy proxy is enabled. So it is already completed. If it is running, you will see the one which is in progress. There are 10 mappers which are used to run this program. If there are any issues, you can click on that map, click on the task. If there are any tasks that are which are failed or killed, and go to the logs, and you will get the details as you get for any MapReduce job. The same thing applies here. Okay, so this is how you can actually run the job, and you can troubleshoot using the resource manager or MapReduce web interfaces once while the job is running, as well as when the job is completed. Again, pig when a complex pig program is written, that pig program might be might run as more than one MapReduce job. So you need to understand what all jobs are related to that pig script, and you have to troubleshoot whatever job is failing. So don't assume that each pig script will be one MapReduce job. One pig script can run as multiple MapReduce jobs also. It depends upon the complexity of the script. And also, if you are using Hortonworks, you can also launch pig using TES context, which is not applicable for Cloudera. So that's it for now. As part of this video, we have seen how pig can be set up. For Cloudera, we don't need to do anything. And there are no daemon process associated with pig. There won't be any server-side logs or daemon process-based logs, because pig does not have any daemon process. It uses HDFS for storage and MapReduce plus yarn for processing the data. So as long as you understand those things, that is more than enough. And for developers, it is important for them to understand pig Latin language, so that they can actually develop pig scripts. That being said, I hope you're enjoying the content on the channel. If you like this video, please click on the like button. If you want to provide the feedback, please use the comment section of the video. If you want to discuss further about big data Hadoop, please join my LinkedIn group called ITversity-Hadoop. If you want to discuss further about certifications, please join my LinkedIn group called ITversity-Certifications. And finally, if you are not subscribed to my channel yet, please do so. And if you live in countries such as US, UK, or any other country where fan funding or support this channel is available, it will be great if you can support me by funding some money so that I can come up with more and more content like this over time. Thank you. Bye.